Hey everybody, I'm Jesse and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Now, reading about it in the news and whatnot, it looks like some young guy just walked up to him on the street and shot him in the back. And after thinking about it for a few minutes, I figured it was probably some dude whose family member had died because they'd been denied insurance coverage. Their claim had been denied, and so they died. You know, the guy's mother, father, wife, or something like that. And that happens all the time around America anyway. And so I can see the point if that is the case. I'm relatively sure that that's why. Just, why would you pick a healthcare CEO to do this to? And then all the memes and stuff coming out about it basically are painting this guy as a Robin Hood or a DB Cooper, something like that, some kind of folk hero. And that's from the left and the right. So obviously there is common ground, especially, all of us here in the middle. We have our differing opinions on the subject, but there we have common ground, both sides of the aisle and in the middle. We have common ground when it comes to all this insurance stuff. And in my opinion, insurance is the second biggest scam ever perpetrated on people ever in the history of people. The first being the monetary system, debt and interest, especially ballooning interest and all this other shit that they use just to rob people. But insurance, I mean, come on, our healthcare is so expensive that we have to buy this insurance for our entire lives, and it's the only thing in the world that someone buys, and then they hope to God that they never have to use it. And if you do have to use it, the company that sold it to you fights like hell, fights you tooth and nail in order for you not to be able to use it. And it's just like the tax code. All these insurance policies, they're that thick. They're all filled with stuff we don't even understand. So they can point to, to page 238, line 4, and show you why you're not covered, when you were absolutely, that's the reason you bought the insurance, was to be covered by this. You know what I mean? But then they send you shit in the mail when you're working and your coverage has been updated, and you try to read through that shit and whatever, and it ends up in a drawer or in the garbage. But when eventually 10, 15, 20 years later, when you need the insurance, it's not what you bought. And these scumbags have been doing this to us for decades. They're getting just mega rich, stealing from us. And it's heinous. It's evil. So let's just say I don't have a lot of sympathy for the guy. I mean, he was the CEO. He was directly responsible for all the stuff that happened. The whole company was in his control. He could have made sure that the people who had been paying these policies for decades and needed the help got the help. But of course, then he would have been fired. So, but he would have been fired by the stockholders. So this whole system is rigged and screwed at its core, with this stock market and the interest and just the way that corporations are set up to have, to be basically people. They're legally, they're people. They're, they have all the same rights and everything as people, except they don't have any of the responsibilities and none of the, they don't have to pay any of the consequences that people do. So that whole thing, the whole corporate setup is just disgusting. But back to the main topic here is that both the left and the right are kind of romanticizing this as a good thing. The left and the right people, the general population, not CEOs like Elon Musk. He's the only one I've seen condemn it. No, we can't kill CEOs. The most famous CEO on the planet, surprisingly, doesn't want people killing CEOs. So go figure. But yeah, the from what I'm seeing, the majority of the common people are kind of raising this guy up as a folk hero and hoping he gets away with it. And I can sympathize with that. There's a point where people start getting fed up. And I don't know if this is that point, if this is the beginning of something. I don't know. I have no idea. I know for a normal common person, because this obviously isn't a serial killer. He's not some whack job. He's a normal common person who wanted revenge or something like that. He lost someone and he wanted to pay back the system that took that person from him. That's my theory on the deal. So he's not a serial killer, and to put a normal common person in that position where he would risk his freedom and maybe his life and his freedom for the rest of his life, to put that at risk in order to do something like this. I mean, you really had to do something to this person. You really had to hurt this person deeply in order for him to make it sense in his brain, in his mind, that this action was worth it. That's where we're at. We're pushing people to the point where they think it's worth it to pay back the amount of pain that's been inflicted on them is worth the risk. And then on top of that, you've got the whole, like I just said, that all the memes and stuff. This guy is becoming a folk hero. Nobody knows his name. He even wrote on the bullets and the cartridges that these different words, like I forget, but he wrote messages. There were words on the cartridges and the bullets that he fired. So this was a planned thing, and so there, in my opinion, it's getting so much attention, so much positive attention from so many people that there are likely to be copycats. I don't think this will be the first and last of these type of things. I believe that this is going to be a snowball effect, especially if they don't catch the guy. Now, catch the guy, they can just scoop up any random individual and claim that's him, build a case against him, just because the guy was alone in his apartment in Manhattan there and doesn't have an alibi. They can plant all kinds of evidence. So that's what I'm afraid of. Some poor bastard is just going to get saddled with this shit just so the system gets away, scot-free. So the system can tamper it down and show an illusion of justice being done. So that's what I'm afraid of more than anything else. Some poor bastard is gonna get completely screwed by the system in order to make themselves look better. And they're gonna need a scapegoat if they can't find the actual person that did it. And then even if they do find the guy, he's gonna have so much, grassroots support that it's going to be a big thing if he ever goes to trial and all this shit. It's going to be another O.J. Simpson thing. But yeah, the left and the right have come together in this thing, and it's really weird to see. They can't come together on anything else except murder. Murder, they can get together, or they can agree on that. But it shows that the left and the right can agree on something, along with a lot of people in the middle too. I cannot, without knowing the reason and why the thing was done, I cannot make an opinion one way or the other about the guy's actions. I can't do it, because this is what's called frontier justice. Okay. And back then there was no system in place to enact justice for you. Just criminals were just running wild, doing whatever they wanted. So frontier justice was people taking it into their own hands. And basically, that's what you have when the system is protecting the criminals. When the system protects the criminals, then the only thing you have left is frontier justice. And that's kind of where we're at. So how can you completely condemn someone for taking justice into their own hands when there is none to be had anywhere else? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't know all the details. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't frontier justice. It might have been just some wacko. And I'm sure that's the picture that will be painted whenever he's caught, or their scapegoat is caught, whatever, when all this comes to a head. He's going to be painted as a complete psychopath, a complete whack job. You know what I mean? And it's just sad. I can just see the left-wing media, the stuff they're going to say about this guy before it even happens. But it makes me think, and it should make all of us think, why is this kind of thing, it's a horrible thing. It's a murder. It's taking of another human life. But why is this kind of thing something that brings people together? How twisted is our society and our system where this is the kind of thing that brings us together in 2024, not 1824, 2024. Brings people together and can get people to agree. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to become a member of Gen X Thinks, I'll leave that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of you who do those things. Thank you very much. If you're interested in Gen X gear, you can head over to Redbubble and check out that stuff there. They're having a sale over there now. Pretty big sale, actually. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff over there. But I'll leave that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. In a cultural and informational war, that is very important, to share our ideas and spread the word. So thank you for those of you who do that. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email's over on the channel page. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.